We gave you a list earlier about reliable allocated. Today we're going to talk about reliable shelfers. Welcome back to another edition of Bourbon Kingdom. I'm David.
And I'm Zach.
And today we are going to talk about reliable shelfers.
Yeah, so we did a version of like allocated bottles to where we thought that they were, with having multiple releases out, they've all been pretty great. These are basically bottles you should, in theory, be able to find on the shelf. Now, look, before we start, yes, we understand that each state's a little different when it comes to allocation.
Yeah.
Some are more difficult to find here, blah, 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 blah. I get that. We also just didn't want to do big boy distilleries, so we threw in some smaller craft stuff here and there. But with all that being said, in our opinion, basically either if it's the same batch, single barrels, blends, whatever it is, I think these are probably some of the better stuff you can find.
I agree with that.
Through and through.
Yeah,
so
agree with that.
Please put in the comments below what you guys either agree with or disagree with, and if there was some that we didn't add on, just let us know.
Yeah.
And also, by the way, we try not to stay in just like one distillery, because you could do that with like Heaven Hill and Wild Turkey. You could do that with a lot of different ones.
Also, hit the like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and do your part so that we can do our part.
Man, that was very clever of you.
Yeah.
Proud of him. All right, first one. Start with the old Penelope Barrel Straight. So whenever I first, the very first time I ever tried a Penelope, I tried Penelope Toast. I was like, I don't understand what the hype is on this.
I agree. I could see that.
And then I tried a Penelope Barrel Straight. I'm like, wow, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Reasonably priced. And they were like, oh, this is like a batch 2. And this one I think I have is like a batch 8. I think they've all been super solid.
Yeah, I think they are
good
solid
stuff. And I think for it being a Ross and Squibb, proud of me there, Ross and Squibb product, and it's a different kind of mash bill with it being a 4 grain, I think it's really nice.
Yeah, and very findable. At least in our market, you can find Penelope all day long.
Yeah, and also the really cool thing is, if you think it's good now, I think with them now officially being owned by Ross and Squibb, I think the quality of everything is went up.
I agree with that. I think it'll get better for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's just easy for us. Yes, we're kind of doing back-to-back Ross and Squibb products. Technically not.
Well, they're different companies.
They are different companies. So the old Smoke Wagon, uncut, unfiltered. I mean,
I remember 2 years ago, these were hard to find because they were just getting back into our market. And because they were just getting back in the market, they were really, really hard to find. But now they are basically, they sit on the shelf. Now, it's a little bit more expensive, I would say, for a shelfer. What is it, $75?
Yeah, but they've actually, like, sneakily, a lot of Smoke Wagon stuff, at le's in our area, has went down in price.
Oh, good.
Which I think has actually helped it out a little bit.
Yeah. And these are always, they're all a little bit different, but they're all generally pretty solid.
Well, we bought a bunch here for a while.
Yeah.
But somebody told me...
I'm still looking for another Barrel 79 too, batch 79.
Aren't we all? Don't bring it up to everybody so that way they know to go look for it.
Yeah.
It's in the clear glass. With all of that being said, I think we bought a bunch of it, and there was, I think, a time here, maybe like sometime last year, where there were some batches that wasn't everybody's favorite.
Yeah.
And I think Aaron even admitted to it. So, like, Aaron even said, he's like, I just didn't love some of the stuff that we were doing.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like, I think it was a combination of me. I think it was a combination of barrels. Like, he kind of did this whole big thing on his Instagram. And I appreciate that from somebody who is the guy who's doing all this stuff, where he's like, hey, it's not meeting my quality. I'm gonna bump it up, and we're gonna do a little better. And I think he let some stuff age a little bit longer and did some other stuff with it. So if you're ever worried that the Smoke Wagon stuff just isn't quite hitting any mark, I can promise you Aaron's paying attention to that, and Aaron will fix that.
Yeah, he will.
So, which is, I don't think there's a ton of companies that will do that.
Yeah.
Next one. Rare Breed. 2 things. First off, I didn't realize I had 3 of these bottles open. I don't know when, and here's the thing, they're all like almost, like, I've drank almost all of them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. At some point in time, I've just like randomly bought them. Probably going to a friend's house who's never tried it.
Yeah.
Or something. So I'm like, oh, I'll pick one up. But man, like this is one of the absolute best shelfer bottles
I agree with
that's
that.
ever been made.
Yeah.
Like just flat out.
I totally agree with that. I think you're not missing. You're not wasting your money by spending it on a rare breed. I think it should be a staple on everybody's shelf. I just think its flavor profile, the things that it provides at a reasonable price, and I think it gives you a real look into Wild Turkey and what they're about.
I'm not saying that everybody needs to have 3 of these bottles open.
Yeah, probably not.
But I'm saying if you're gonna have a bourbon bar, if you're gonna have a bourbon shelf, if you're just gonna have like a handful of bottles open on your bar at all times, it's kind of hard not to go with this. Because here's the other thing too: I can copy a lot of profiles of some really good whiskey. It's hard copying this.
Yeah,
to be fair.
Agree.
Just go ahead and knock out the next one.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like those are 1A, 1B kind of situations. All right, Old Forester 1920. Now, I think this won our blind for best shelfer.
It did.
Bottle, correct?
It did.
So we did a big blind. It won overall. I think Rare Breed got second.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another bottle we're going to talk about here in a little bit that got third. I know there's been some controversy over this new label, over this old label. I blinded them. It's like, I can't tell difference.
Yeah.
You know,
it's not like the early times.
Maybe, yes, 1,000% on that one. Maybe it has something to do with some airtime, some bottles being opened up longer.
Yeah,
maybe it just depends on what you've eaten that day. I don't know. I don't see there being any huge difference, if any at all.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that.
But just like basically everything that we said about Rare Breed, this goes for the 1920. It's great. It's fantastic. And it's like 50-something bucks, $56, I think. So you're definitely not going to miss out.
No, not at all.
There's
not really much else to say. This should be on your shelf.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I feel like we've knocked out some easy ones. Let's go to a brand that I still don't technically know if they're going to be around. I think they say that they are, but nobody really knows what's going on with them right now.
This is the good one, too.
I know. So, talking about Barrell cask strength bourbon. So, going back a little bit, never had any Barrell stuff before the channel.
Right.
Had you?
No.
I neither. I'll take it back. I think I had some picks, but nothing crazy. They started sending us stuff. We started trying it. Started really enjoying it.
Yeah.
Like this one, really enjoyed.
Yeah, 33 is...
Their cask strength stuff, 34, 35, like that is some really, really, really good stuff.
It really is.
And it kind of gets slept on. It's a little pricey, around $80. I get it. With that said, it's still good quality stuff.
And it is on the shelf at all times.
Maybe that's why it's on the shelf, because it's $80.
Yeah, you could be right. I don't know what else to say besides take a chance on getting this. Any of them, 33, 34, 35. Have they done 36 yet? I don't think I've seen it. But
anything new being released.
Yeah,
maybe not anything being new.
So maybe
from them in a while.
Maybe you should find this and get this now because it may not be available at some point.
You know, here's the good thing, Dave, and I didn't even really think about this. We have a really big variety in range and prices.
Yeah,
we have one that's over $100. Most of them are all under $100.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we got some cheap ones. We got some expensive ones. So good thing is with this list, you can kind of find what you're looking for.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Why is your Craig barrel proof? Now, we could kind of debate if this is allocated or if not. I mean, here's the thing.
It's loosely allocated.
I don't really, I think it technically is allocated because according to us, most liquor stores in our area will tell you, if we can't get it in every single day that we want it, then it's considered allocated. So a bunch of crap is considered allocated. That's really not allocated.
But if you wanted to get this 3 times at one store, they would let you buy it 3 times.
Between the single barrel picks that they have out there and then the batches and stuff, there's just a lot of it outside of the C batch. C batch was a different animal. But outside of that, there's
Yeah.
just been a ton of this going
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely one of those that I would consider and put it on. All right, next one. I don't think we've talked about this little distillery in a while.
We actually haven't talked about Chattanooga in a while, but as always, I think Chattanooga does a really good job, especially the cask strength, the 111. Like this is just a fantastic Tennessee whiskey.
It's
And
awesome.
I don't say that lightly.
You said it with such disdain in your voice.
I don't say it lightly.
I just want to make sure these are roughly 6 to 10 barrel batch sizes.
And are they still 2 to 3 years old?
Yeah, I think this one's
They do a really good job.
greater than 2 years.
They do a really good job with their stuff, considering the limited age that they
agreed.
they do it with, and I'm always impressed with that.
And I was a big fan of them regardless. Most of them are fruity. I've tried some that are chocolate. The one that Ken sent us, I thought was like a 60-year-old Scotch.
Yeah.
It was
yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
It was really good, but it was wild.
Yeah, it was definitely wild.
And so they have this really big range and profile that I think they do.
Yeah.
I just really appreciate that from them. I think they're doing great stuff.
Yeah.
And I just give them a shot because they're cheap too.
Yeah. They are cheap.
All right. Next one. Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof. Now, we were talking about our best, like, everyday available blind that we did. This finished third. Right? This was third, right?
I believe it was third.
I think it was third. Again, probably, I mean, it just, for a while, it was weird because you couldn't find these, and now they're kind of everywhere, and like this one's 100, I think I got this one, yeah, this is 130 proof. This is one from Liquor Barn. And it's just like, you can not only find these again, but you can find high proof ones again, which is nice.
Yeah, you can, for sure. We love Jack Daniel's, so of course it's going to be on this list, and the fact that you can find these readily available now, I'm really happy about.
Yeah, they're awesome. Last two?
Yeah.
Now this is a bottle we have talked a lot about in the past. This is a Maker's Mark cask strength. What's crazy to me is how cheap this is. I think it's like between like 30 and 40 bucks.
Yes.
And how good it is.
Yes.
And how much, honestly, I think I've only seen like 3 people do reviews on this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this thing just slaps. Like, it's just so freaking good.
Yeah. For what you expect from Maker's Mark, this surprises you.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, outside of cellar age being the premium thing from Maker's Mark, I find that this is the second behind that. And it's just available everywhere.
Yeah.
And so why not pick it up for $30? It looks good on your shelf. It tastes good in your mouth. So all the good stuff is right there to be had for a really reasonable price.
Yeah, it's great.
And you can find this at any liquor store, anywhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think actually whenever I picked this up, I think I was up in Michigan. I was looking for something to like buy or drink or whatever. And I was like, I can't find anything outside like Jack Daniel's and Jim Beam. And I found this. I was like, oh, okay.
Don't mind if I do. That's a smart play. Smart play.
At moments. Moments. All right, last one. Kind of a new one. But, gosh, I got dusty really quick around here. This is the Old Route 8. This is from Augusta Distillery. This is 133.2 proof. Love that proof on there. And this is a single barrel. Yeah, single barrel. These things, they're a little pricey. I'm not gonna lie.
Just a little over 100, aren't they?
Yeah, so I found a couple spots where I can get them for like around like 100, 110 bucks.
Yeah.
I think some spots around here, so I'm like around like 130, 140.
Yeah.
So this one is not cheap. Just gonna throw that out here. But it's really good. I am not traditionally a big fan of Barton. We believe most of this is Barton source stuff.
Yeah.
With a little Heaven Hill. And overall, yes. I think all of these are Barton, by the way.
Yeah.
Some of their other stuff might be Heaven Hill. But with all that being said, I think it's just really good stuff. I think it has really great proof. It also has really good proof range. I've had like I said, this one's really high in proof.
Yeah, that was 133.
I've had one the other day that was 111.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
I've had one that was like 120 something.
Yeah. So you have really good, decent range in that. So just overall, I just think they're doing good stuff. And again, this has come from somebody who's not a hardcore Barton Source fan.
Yeah.
So whenever you have a product that I like, I tend to think like, hey, they know what they're doing over there.
And again, this sits on a shelf. You can find it generally especially in most big box stores. You're going to see it on the shelf.
That one might be the hardest one to find on the list.
It might be, but
just because they are newer, it's a smaller distillery.
Yeah.
But anyways, put in the comments below what you think we got right, what we got wrong, and name some other ones that are really reliable. I know there's going to be a ton of bottles out there you all can pick from.
Yeah, for sure. We like to hear all those. So,
so we'd like to hear because maybe we just didn't think of it.
Yeah.
So
all right. Well, till next time.
We'll see you.
We'll see you.